Hello everyone, I'm MVL and welcome to another episode of Video Game Pickups, and as per usual, gameplay footage will be included for every game in this video. But first, we're going to unbox the Corrin and Corrin Player 2 Amiibo, so without further ado, let's get started. Alright, let's start by unboxing these Amiibo, which I got from the Nintendo UK store. These were reprinted from a new Fire Emblem game coming out, which is really cool because Corrin Player 2 was in particular in quite high demand because of an initial limited print run of this, which made it quite sought after, especially on the reseller market. This was extremely expensive, and I got both of these for $12.99 from the Nintendo UK store, which was very good. I missed out on the Sephiroth Final Fantasy VII Amiibo, unfortunately, because that was also in quite high demand, but I'm still very glad to grab these. So, without further ado, let's open them up. I'm going to start with 59 and then move on to 60. So, let's open this up. Great packaging on the Amiibos, of course, but I will naturally be taking them out of the packaging, so here's a look at the back of that. If you want to see what that is, they have additional functions on games. That's what Amiibos do, but for the most part, they just look really nice. They're well painted, particularly well painted, I will say, and I will open this up right now, destroying the packaging. Apologies for anyone that does like to keep their stuff in the packaging. I like to take stuff out. It's personal preference, and I do like to use the stuff I have. So let's take this out of there. Alright, got an insert there as well telling you how to use the Amiibos, I assume. Don't need any of that, and don't need any of this plastic here either. Now there is a big stand on the back of this Amiibo, keeping it on its stand. But for the most part, this looks really good. This is the Player 1 version of this Corrin character, and we'll be unboxing the Player 2 in just a moment as well. As you can see, the stand here is connected by the back to keep the figure upright and not removed from the stand itself. They have extra functions on games, of course, if you scan them in, which is why they were reprinted for this new Fire Emblem game. This one was also a little pricey on the second-hand market, but not nearly as much as the Player 2 version was. Alright, so here is the Corrin Player 2, the more sought after, formerly more limited before the recent reprint from the new Fire Emblem game coming out. Now, this formerly went on places like eBay for quite a lot of silly money, so I'm really glad to see it get a reprint. Great packaging as well. Same armor and weaponry as the other version, which I like. Different pose. And we'll take this out of the box right now and have a look at the Amiibo. So I'm extremely happy to grab this. The former price that this was going for from resellers was pretty silly. I almost ended up getting this from a reseller for the reprint, because I was afraid it wasn't going to come to the UK, the reprint that is, but I'm very glad it did. Very glad I held off on that. Again, there's a booklet in there as well. Nobody reads the instructions with things anyway. And there we have it. So it is connected here with a tie for the weapon, which I will remove before we get it out. Very cool that they have reprinted this. Although, to be fair, I do wish that places wouldn't print stuff in limited amounts, they'll print to demand. Because I missed out on the Sephiroth Amiibo, for example. And they do a lot of limited games these days, and limited things like the Amiibo runs. It would be nicer just for everyone to get one. Here is the Corrin Player 2 version. Great pose on this Amiibo. Same armor and weapon as the other version of Corrin, and the paint job on these looks really good, and I'm also really glad that this got a reprint from the new Fire Emblem game, so I didn't have to resort to getting this from a reseller, and it's just great to finally be able to pick this up, and I'm super happy to add this to my Amiibo collection. So here are the two Amiibo together. As you can see, they have the same armor and weapon, And these are both really awesome. I'm excited to grab these, and I'm glad to add these to my collection. So there you have it. The Corrin Player 1 and Player 2 Amiibos. So there you have it. That's the Amiibo unboxed. And now we're going to check out some games. Alright, on to the games. And first up we have Black Belt on the Master System. This is a beat-em-up game. And this game boasts to be the most lifelike karate game ever to meet the video screen. It has a post-apocalyptic setting, and the bad guys seem to be getting the best of things. You use your black belt standing to try and restore order to a chaotic world. In each round you must battle an entire enemy corpse as well as its leader. And in each round the backgrounds as well as your opponent's fighting styles continue to change. So use everything the masters have taught you to stop the violence and restore peace in Black Belt on the Master System. Next up we have Battletoads in Ragnarok's World on the Game Boy. This is a beat-em-up game. When the evil Dark Queen takes both of your best buddies and the best looking girl this side of the Mazalian star cluster, what are you gonna do about it? Are you gonna cry, hide, call the Star Cops? No way! Because you're a Battletoad, and Battletoads don't cry, hide, or call for help. Battletoads get real mad, and then they get even. So strap on your knee pads, power up the Toadster, and get on down to the Dark Queen's planet. But watch out, Toad, 'cause this lady's bad, and she's got a whole load of nasty surprises lined up just for you. Like the Psycho Pigs, the Mutant Rat Pack, Retro Blasters, and the Saturn Toad Trap, to name a few. You're gonna need all your fighting skills to defeat her, the Battletoad Butt, the Big Bad Boot, and the awesome Kiss My Fist. Hey, and don't forget to take along your trusty speed bike, cause chances are you're gonna need it, and a whole lot more, if you're gonna rescue your friends and get the frog out of there with your green skin intact. So let's get bad and crazy, Toad. It's time to get real mad, and then to get even, in Battletoads in Ragnarok's World on the Game Boy. And next up we have Wario Blast on the Game Boy. This is a maze action game. Oh no, Wario has stumbled upon the secret gateway into Bomberland. Now the greedy Wario wants to claim the land, its inhabitants, and treasures as his own. Entering the underground labyrinth, he meets the resistance of the Mad Bombers, explosive experts who have some TNT tricks and surprises for Wario. The battle heats up as Wario and Bomberman try to outwit the other, level by level in a dynamic duel, and there's also 32 levels in adventure mode. Wario meets Bomberman in the ultimate confrontation in Wario Blast, featuring Bomberman on the Game Boy. Next up we have Woody Pop for the Game Gear. This is a block and ball game. Join Woody Pop as he battles the forces of the jealous Mad Machine. Get ready for rebounds, ricochets, and bounding action as Woody Pop transforms into a brick-smashing hero. That's Woody Pop on the Game Gear. Next up we have Robot Wars Metal Mayhem on the Game Boy Color. This is a robot fighting game. Are you ready for battle? Challenge the might of the robots in the ultimate battle arena. There's only one winner as you fight to destroy the enemy and avoid destruction from the evil house robots. Put the scrap back into metal as you train, build your own robot, and go to battle against the computer or human roboteer. It's Metal Mayhem in Robot Wars Metal Mayhem on the Game Boy Color. Next up we have Daredevil on the Game Boy Advance. This is a beat-em-up game. He dwells in a world of eternal night, but perceives things ordinary men cannot. Although Matt Murdock is blind, his other four senses function with superhuman sharpness. He is Daredevil, a mass vigilante stalking the dark streets of the city, a relentless avenger of justice. He is the man without fear. This game has 23 levels and 21 enemies you can battle, including Elektra, Bullseye, and Kingpin, and you can also fight crime in alternative costumes as well. He is Daredevil in Daredevil on the Game Boy Advance. Next up we have Cleopatra Fortune on the PlayStation. This is a puzzle game, and it's time for a puzzle game with a difference. Line up the falling stone blocks to entomb treasure and claim it for yourself. Play through the tricky mystery mode, or simply pitch your wits against a host of one-off puzzles in the challenging versus or time attack modes. With colourful graphics that bring ancient Egypt onto your screen, Cleopatra Fortune offers an unmissable challenge. There's a variety of game modes and 50 mind-bending levels to enjoy in Cleopatra Fortune on the PlayStation. And next up we have DBZ on the PlayStation. This is a sports game. You're the manager of an 8-man team of minor league psychos. With the help of grenades, guns, chainsaws, and pure physical power, your job is to make it to the majors, and then to win the world championship. Train and customize your players, track their stats, get them major league contracts, and look for the winner within. But remember, in a sport where a veteran is a guy who's playing his second game, attack is the only option. In the brutal dead ball zone arena, the aim of the game is simple. Put the ball in the net by catching, shooting, and beating your opponents into a pulp. In DBZ, Dead Ball Zone on the PlayStation. And next up we have Gunfighter, The Legend of Jesse James on the PlayStation. This is a Zapper game. I already had the follow-up to this game on the PS2, so I was very excited to grab this. Pursued by a gang of ruthless criminals, the famous outlaw Jesse James finds himself hiding out in a small town in the Old West. Jesse's girl Z has been taken, and his friend Cole has been shot down. Your mission is clear. Save Z and avenge Cole by defeating your murderous enemies. This game has 5 action-packed Wild West scenarios and a number of great minigames offering constant variety and new challenges. Shoot your way through the Wild West in Gunfighter, The Legend of Jesse James on the PlayStation. And finally we have Frantix on the PSP. This is a puzzle game, which describes itself as an amazing puzzle adventure that will leave you frantic. It's a 3D puzzle-solving game featuring deadly hazards and cunning enemies. And this game includes over 180 challenging levels across several unique worlds, where the player must overcome unique obstacles and traps, and collect power-ups to help you progress through the game. Unmuzzle the puzzle in Frantix on the PSP. And there you have it, those are all of my pickups from this episode of Video Game Pickups. If you like the video, be sure to leave a like or a comment to let me know what you think, and don't forget to subscribe for more awesome content. And if you'd like to, you can also support me on Patreon or YouTube channel membership. Thank you for watching, I've been MVL, and I will catch you next time.